Welcome to Standing the Night Watch. Strategic reflections while your team sleeps. I'm your host, Mike Targus, retired Marine Corps officer and leadership coach. In these quiet moments, I'll read from the Marine Corps' doctrinal publication, Tactics, not as a lesson, but as a meditation. Each passage is chosen to invite stillness, clarity, and thoughtfulness as we use tactics as a way to consider the weight of leadership and developing a strategic mind. Whether you're winding down for the day or simply seeking a calm reflection, standing the post, this space is for you. Let's begin. Gaining an advantage from warfighting. The challenge is to identify and adopt a concept of warfighting consistent with our understanding of the nature and theory of war and the realities of the modern battlefield. What exactly does this require? It requires a concept of warfighting that will function effectively in an uncertain, chaotic, and fluid environment. In fact, one that will exploit these conditions to advantage. In martial arts, it is basic to use an opponent's strength and momentum against him to gain leverage. Tactics is the same. Combined arms. It is basic that in tactics that we seek to place the enemy not merely in a simple problem, but in a dilemma, a no-win situation. We maneuver in such a way that any action the enemy takes makes them more vulnerable to the next. An entrenched enemy is suppressed with artillery fire, which makes them vulnerable to attack by the infantry. This is combined arms. An entrenched enemy is suppressed with artillery fire, which makes them vulnerable to attack by the infantry. This is combined arms. In 1941, General Patton made this statement regarding combined arms. In critiquing his units, he stated there is still a tendency in each separate unit to be a one-handed puncher. He says, by that I mean that a rifleman wants to shoot, the tanker to charge, That is not the way to win battles. To get harmony in battle, each weapon must support the other. Team play wins. Maneuver. Maneuver provides us the ability to gain an advantage over the enemy. It is not simply movement. You may have used the expression outmaneuvering someone. In World War I, during the trench warfare, one side would run across no man's land to attack the other. Any gains were quickly reversed by the other side's counterattack, and the same terrain was occupied again. In addition to movement, we maneuver in other dimensions. We maneuver in time by increasing our speed relative to the enemy. We operate at a faster tempo. Thus, we normally maneuver both in time and space to gain advantage with the least possible cost. Exploiting the environment. There is tremendous advantage to be gained in exploiting our environment, whether it be jungle, desert, mountain. We must understand the effects of terrain and weather in periods of darkness or reduced visibility, as well as the impact on the enemy's ability to fight. Terrain. Our objective is to employ tactics where the terrain gives us an advantage over our opponent. This is the expression, take the high ground. Our enemy is trying to do the same. Therefore, we deny key terrain to our enemy. Weather. Adverse weather. Cold. Heat. Rain. Makes execution more difficult. Therefore, we seek to be the best prepared to deal with these conditions. We train in difficulty. We make our units tough and able to operate in any environment. Darkness. Units that can operate effectively at night have significant advantages over their opponent, because night makes easy things difficult to the untrained. Operating at night against an enemy that cannot greatly increases not only our ability to defeat him physically, but also offers us twice the amount of time to execute. And the psychological impact of fighting a well-trained opponent in the nighttime can produce significant rewards. Complementary forces. This is the idea of fix and flank. In other words, holding the enemy's attention, keeping them focused in one area, and preventing them from moving, while maneuvering and striking them from another. Imagine a Marine firing at an enemy position. The enemy is unable to withdraw, and another Marine unit moves up on the flank to strike them from the side. We seek to draw the enemy's attention in one direction while attacking from another. Sun Tzu described this as Cheng and Qi. Cheng being the more direct and obvious action, fixing the enemy's attention, while the Qi strikes unexpectedly from another. This is the bid for decision, as we call it today. The action that contributes to a decisive result. This basic approach should be woven into everything we think of. Surprise. Surprise increases leverage, and we achieve surprise through deception, stealth, and ambiguity. Sun Tzu also says, war is based on deception. We use deception to mislead our enemy and conceal our real intentions and capabilities. We use deception to mislead the enemy as to the time and location of our attack. We make our forces look larger than they really are. And the goal is that the enemy realizes the reality of the situation, too late to react effectively. A core capability of the Marines is amphibious assault. To strike from the sea, from ships. An inherent advantage of striking from ships is the mobility they offer. The ability to move up and down a coast, to draw the enemy's attention in a certain direction, as was seen in Desert Storm, where several divisions of the Iraqi army moved to counter the possible amphibious landing of a Marines force that never landed to make contact, drawing valuable divisions away from the main attack on the ground. Surprise can be generated through stealth. Stealth is used to our advantage in maneuver by providing less chance of detection by the enemy, leaving him vulnerable to surprise at a location and time when he is unprepared. The most basic way to think of surprise is an ambush. An ambush is a tactical operation, but it is also a mentality. Sun Tzu says, "The enemy must not know where I intend to give battle." Ambiguity was a core tactic in World War II for the Blitzkrieg. The Blitzkrieg attacked in many locations simultaneously, requiring the defender to spread their combat power. And due to the offensive nature and initiative gained by attacking, the successful attacks could be reinforced and exploited. The enemy being bypassed had a paralyzing effect, as the German units moved deep into the rear areas, causing panic. Trapping the enemy. Modern tactics seeks not to push the enemy back, but trap him. Trapping the enemy should be the result of our application of combined arms, fire and maneuver, and complementary force tactics. Why is this important? Think back to the World War I trench warfare example. One side pushing the other back is only met by a counterattack that returns that force to their initial positions with no gain. Pushing is seldom decisive, whereas a trapped enemy is more likely to surrender. We can win decisively. Like the Carthaginians at the Battle of Cannae against the Romans, or like the same German army at Stalingrad as they became encircled during their withdrawal from the east. Trapping allows us to gain and maintain initiative. The enemy has no choice but to react to our attack. Developing an ambush mentality. The ambush is the most common tactical tool used to gain an advantage. Therefore, developing an ambush mentality is central to our developing a tactical mind. We place units along well-traveled avenues of approach. Picture a trail in a forested area. A trail that is essential for the movement of the enemy's logistics. We place our squad along the trail in the shape of an L to prevent their escape. This is called the kill zone, and if executed properly, offers almost no chance of survival. We seek to turn every situation into some sort of ambush. This is the ambush mentality. We seek to surprise the enemy. We maximize the psychological impact of this surprise and enhance it with our preparation. This leaves the enemy no chance of reacting effectively when done properly. The second aspect of the ambush mentality is drawing the enemy into a situation that places them in severe disadvantage. This often involves deception. We make this movement seem appealing. We lure him in. And thirdly, the ambush is invisible. We must not be detected setting our ambush. Surprise depends on this invisibility. Imagine placing your forces on the backside of a gently sloping hill. The enemy crests the hill without any way to observe your force. And upon cresting the hill, exposes themselves to your full combat power. This reverse slope ambush is the perfect demonstration of preparing and keeping yourself invisible, unable to be seen prior to making contact. The fourth element is that we want to shock the enemy. We do not gradually increase the volume of our fire. In an ambush that is properly executed, all weapons fire simultaneously. The enemy is paralyzed and cannot react. Panic often ensues, complicating our enemy's situation. We use combined arms to ambush the enemy. We attack key areas simultaneously. And finally, an ambush mentality focuses on our actual enemy, not terrain, not distracting geographical objectives. The purpose of an ambush can be nothing but destroying our enemy. Asymmetry. Fighting asymmetrically means that we gain advantage through an imbalance. We put strength against weakness and maximize our own strengths while exploiting where the enemy is weak. We force the fight on our own terms. We seize the initiative. One way to fight asymmetrically is to locate and attack critical vulnerabilities of our enemy. An example is using attack helicopters to fight enemy tanks, or other close air support to attack infantry. An example is using attack helicopters to engage enemy tanks, or aircraft to bomb infantry incapable of defending themselves against the fast-moving aircraft. In each example, we demonstrate the relative speed advantage and mobility of air attacking ground. We seek to gain every advantage possible and exploit it. We use maneuver and surprise, complementary forces, and combined arms. We appreciate and exploit our environment, the terrain, the weather, the darkness. We trap our enemy and develop an ambush mentality. We fight asymmetrically. We place strength against weakness. being faster than our enemy. John English on infantry. For the infantryman to be truly effective, he will have to be as light of foot as he is quick of thought. Mobility is needed most of all in the clash of arms. Swift and agile movement, plus rapidity and intelligent tactical flexibility are its true essentials. Weapons are not simply pieces of equipment, such as a rifle. A key weapon for us as combatants is speed. But how is speed a weapon? Speed prevents our enemy from responding to our attack in an organized manner. The results of speed often contribute to success beyond the immediate goal. The initial attack and success is unable to be responded to because, due to our speed, we've already begun the attack in another area. The enemy panics. Speed offers advantages in other areas too. In World War II, the British Royal Air Force gained advantage over the Germans during the Battle of Britain because of their ability to speedily recover downed pilots, return them to base, and place them in new aircraft, at times allowing them to fight twice or more in the same day. German pilots were less easily recovered, and thus slower. Great leaders have spoke of speed through the years. Napoleon said, "I may lose a battle, but I shall never lose a minute." The Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest is famous for his quote, "Get there first with the most." And when we have greater relative speed, we gain the initiative and thus an advantage. General Balk from the German army in World War II, in fighting the Russians on the Eastern Front, was asked after the war, which is harder to defend against? Russian tanks or speed? His answer was speed. Physical speed is a weapon in and of itself. When we approach the enemy at a high rate of speed, we reduce their reaction time When we bypass the enemy, we change the situation faster than they can react. In every situation, we cause feelings of fear, indecision, and helplessness. This psychological impact is key to the tenets of maneuver warfare. Speed and time. We balance the need to move faster with the risk of acting recklessly. We consider the importance. Speed and time are closely related. If we cannot spend time acting, we spend time thinking about how to act. Making maximum use of time. It's not simply a matter of acting, but acting at the right time. We appreciate the rhythm of combat so that we can use the same rhythm to create advantages. We cannot act at a high tempo all the time. Our people need rest, being faster than our enemy. John English on infantry. For the infantryman to be truly effective, he will have to be as light of foot as he is quick of thought. Mobility is needed most of all in the clash of arms. Swift and agile movement, plus rapidity and intelligent tactical flexibility are as true essentials. Weapons are not simply pieces of equipment, such as a rifle. A key weapon for us as combatants is speed. But how is speed a weapon? Speed prevents our enemy from responding to our attack in an organized manner. The results of speed often contribute to success beyond the immediate goal. The initial attack and success is unable to be responded to because, due to our speed, we've already begun the attack in another area. The enemy panics. In World War II, the British Royal Air Force gained advantage over the Germans during the Battle of Britain because of their ability to speedily recover downed pilots, return them to base, and place them in new aircraft, at times allowing them to fight twice or more in the same day. German pilots were less easily recovered, and thus slower. Napoleon said, "I may lose a battle, but I shall never lose a minute." The Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest is famous for his quote, "Get there first with the most." But what is speed? It seems to be a simple answer, like we would describe driving a car several miles an hour. But speed is relative to our enemy. And when we have greater relative speed, we gain the initiative and thus an advantage. General Balk from the German army in World War II, in fighting the Russians on the Eastern Front, was asked after the war, which is harder to defend against? Russian tanks or speed? His answer was speed. Physical speed is a weapon in and of itself. When we approach the enemy at a high rate of speed, we reduce their reaction time. When we bypass the enemy, we change the situation faster than they can react. In every situation, we cause feelings of fear, indecision, and helplessness. This psychological impact is key to the tenets of maneuver warfare. Speed and time. We balance the need to move faster with the risk of acting recklessly. We consider the importance. Good tacticians have a constant sense of urgency. We feel guilty when we're idle. We never waste time, and we're seldom content with the pace of operations. We seek always to be faster. Timing. We employ speed to create a tempo that is faster or higher than our enemies. It's not simply a matter of acting, but acting at the right time. We appreciate the rhythm of combat so that we can use the same rhythm to create advantages. Our people need rest. Our equipment needs repair. We incorporate rest and replenishment into our planning. Timing means knowing when to act as well as when not to act. Although we choose to be in the attack or seizing the initiative, there are times when it's better to wait. If we conduct a deception or diversionary attack, we wait for that diversion to have its full effect on the enemy. If a situation is developing, we wait and observe before committing to the attack. We wait to counterattack at the right time. We wait for the enemy to be fully encircled. Decisive action is the goal, and it must be timed to occur at just the right moment. Poor tactical leaders dissipate energy on constant, unprioritized, indecisive activities. Not all activity supports the mission. Relative speed. Going fast and making efficient use of time help us answer the question, what is speed? But we must always also consider the enemy. And speed is only meaningful when we move and operate faster than the enemy. During the battle for the Falkland Islands in 1982, British forces moved slowly. The terrain was difficult, and the weather horrible. British soldiers and Marines carried everything. Support from vehicles was minimal due to the terrain. However, they still had the advantage in relative speed because their enemy did not move from their positions. Continuing speed. Speed, in order to be effective, must continue over time. It is not enough to simply move past our enemy, but we must keep moving. We cannot operate at full speed indefinitely. So the challenge is to be consistently faster. We sustain our speed through the use of combined arms. We attack deeply from the air and with artillery to keep pressure on the enemy's rear, while simultaneously striking with ground units, infantry. We support ourselves with logistics and pre-planned resupply. We plan to conduct equipment repair and maintenance forward on the battlefield. Our vehicles, our equipment is put back into action with the least amount of time out of action. Speed and change. We transition from one action to another rapidly. The effect on our enemy is that this transition produces friction and causes them to slow, to lose tempo. It enables us to move with greater relative speed. We rehearse procedures, battle drills, to reduce the time needed to conduct basic tasks. The time and place where these transitions occur can be called a friction point. These are points on the battlefield where the attack moves from one phase to the next, from our assembly area to attack position, and between one maneuver and the next. Leaders see at least one move beyond the present and ease the shift in their appreciation in time and space and the requirement and time to decide. We observe the battlefield and orient ourselves to the situation. We build a mental appreciation for what we are dealing with. And in general, the better the orientation, the better the plan. We communicate the plan so that our people can execute. And lastly, we put the plan into action. When done with a higher tempo than our enemy's counteraction is irrelevant because we have changed the situation that they are dealing with, consistently being faster than our opponent. It's codified in Boyd's cycle known as the OODA loop, OODA. We orient ourselves, decide, and act. and then return to observing. When we do this faster than our enemy, we see decisive advantage. General Patton said, "In small operations, as in large, speed is the essential element of success." He also made this observation of haste and speed. There is great difference between the two words. Haste exists when troops are committed without proper reconnaissance, without the arrangement of proper supporting fire, and before every available man has been brought up. The result of such an attack will be to get the troops into action early, but to complete every action very slowly. Speed is acquired by making the necessary reconnaissance and providing the proper artillery support, bringing of every available man up and launching the attack with a predetermined plan so that the time under fire will be reduced to the minimum. We start by recognizing the importance of time. As leaders, we have the responsibility to make things happen quickly. We work to build a sense and an appreciation of time within ourselves and our people. How do we increase speed? First, we keep everything simple. Simplicity promotes speed. Complexity slows things down. Secondly, we decentralize. We use mission tactics and commander's intent to allow people to make decisions locally. Mission tactics is the assignment without specifying how the mission must be accomplished. It is key to maneuver warfare. Central to mission tactics is explaining the purpose of the operation. We reduce the need for people to ask permission. We allow them to make decisions that are needed based on their more detailed and accurate appreciation for the situation on the ground. Commander's intent provides the overall purpose for execution. The third way to become faster is through experience. Veteran units are typically faster than those without combat experience. In peacetime, however, our Marines are not likely to be combat veterans. However, we can increase their tactical appreciation through field exercises, war games, and rehearsal. Another way we become faster is through the use of implicit communication. These are mutual understandings that require little or no actual talking. or writing. It occurs when two people or two organizations work so well together, they simply understand what the other is trying to do. Implicit communication should be developed over time and is one of our goals as leaders with those around us. Speed is developed not only from experience, but from the development of lateral communication or coordination. Lateral communication is often the most difficult type of communication and must be practiced in training. It requires an appreciation for what the unit on our left and our right are tasked with and what their capabilities are. The fourth way we become faster is by placing ourselves as the commander at the point of friction. This is often by placing ourselves with the main effort. Our main effort being our bid for victory. This is often synonymous with leading from the front, which is where most friction occurs. And finally, it is important not only to be faster, but to maintain speed over time, which requires endurance. Endurance is made possible through physical and mental fitness. Endurance allows us not only to outpace the enemy, but to maintain a higher tempo itself longer than our enemy can. We must be faster than our opponent. We must move fast, but more importantly, we must act faster than our enemy. We tailor our tactics to allow us to act faster than our enemy is able to react. We develop the ability to plan. We must consider what unique aspects of our organization can be sped up. Anything that makes us faster must be considered. Thank you for standing the night watch. If this time helped center your thoughts or gave you something to carry into tomorrow, I'm glad. These words, drawn from our doctrine, aren't just for war. They're for life. Subscribe for more reflections like this. Until next time, hold the line and lead well.